Sei? Ok. Pronti? Ready. I wish to invite all the speakers and the guests that will participate to this to the conclusion of this day. And I think that better thing is to invite Liz to come here and all the others to. And all the others to occupy these chairs. No, queste, scusa. Sì. Tutti questi, Stefano, tutti quanti. Lì qui ci siamo noi e voi state qui, però Stefano mettetevi avanti. Ci siete tutti, no? Ci siete tutti? Chi manca? Ok. E quello? So, I just want to suggest a conclusion for this, in my mind, a very interesting day in which two different realities and academical realities, but not only realities, or not only academical, meet together and exchange their experience on a common theme that is waste management and reuse in many senses. One is the approach of the architects that proposed a lot of situations that you saw during this day for collecting materials and objects, and also for exposing the restoration of the objects and sale of the objects. And the other one is the artistic manipulation of the of the waste, but also for us it's very important the point of view of engineers like Professor Langdon and engineer Giovanni Pretucciani of AMA, who showed us the possibility to reuse energy and water, and it was very interesting, the lecture of Professor Langdon. And just to resume the theme that I want to synthesize the many arguments that we treated today. For instance, we have, after an opening concerning the contents of the laboratory that I direct with the teaching of architect Panay, and you saw right now the proposal of our students and that now graduated students. Most of them are only bachelor graduate students, but they are they deepen a lot their project. So after this introduction, we saw a suggestive proposal of waste recovery of architecture that Professor Barbera this morning exposed us. Then some an excursus about the literature concerning the waste and garbage, and then experiments on materials that our colleague will show with us, and some themes concern the sustainable development and approaches to this kind of development, different areas of the world. Then some studies concerning the harvest mapping toward the zero energy construction, so zero energy building. And then other themes concerned the study of circular economy, circular thinking, and I wish to ask the speaker, that was Giovanni Petrucciani, how can we do circular thinking for our life, because it was an open issue. And then I already remembered the wastewater recovering. That is very important to save also phosphorus and so on. And then the studies on landscape, land art, architecture by my colleague Nicoletta Trasi and also Maria Beatrice Andreucci, and the point of view of artists that are filmmakers and sculptors that resulted also in the presentation of the students of the Bauhaus School. I think that all of these themes really converge in a very general interdisciplinary point of view that connected art, engineering, architecture, and life. And I think that as the basis for the developing, as I said before, of a sustainable society, and not only the economy, but a society in very general conception. And now I want to ask all of you to tell some words concerning the day and the proposal for the future, starting from Liz, of course, that we thank again for being here with her students and the teachers of his university.
Yeah, well, of course, one jumps on the topic that's closest to one's own interest. And I remember well I don't see her anymore, but her name is Serena, who talked, I think she talked about the
harvesting.
Yes, who talked about the scouting for material and harvesting material. And this is a strategy very close to what I'm interested in. This idea that you don't even have to look far to find material that you invent new uses for. This inventiveness also of your students that presented just now, of creating new forms for and using actually recycled materials so that there is no waste. I mean, the question that we've asked time and time again today, or the statement is waste is a question of definition. And let's say the more affluent a culture is, the more waste there is. Florian Baking and I did a film that we'll be showing tomorrow at the Art Academy, or Wednesday at the Art Academy in the morning, called Handmade in Bangladesh, and that was our theme, is that in a country as poor as Bangladesh, people make something out of nothing. There is no waste because they find a material, and it's pure survival. I mean, it's a difficult situation, but the people are so creative and inventive in their recycling activity, be it bones of sacred cows from India, be it human hair recycling to make wigs, be it in plastic recycling, or using the pages of a book to fold little bags for the market, to place nuts and spices in. So I think this is it's just a lot of what we've seen today has confirmed my, and Jorg says it time and time again as well, that it's actually how we define the resources that are at our disposal, and that we've got to get people to stop taking advantage, to have this throwaway mentality. That's the worst. if you begin to like see the material and then appreciate its qualities in a positive sense, and to begin to use and reuse, well, and actually to stop consuming so much altogether, that's clear, but then the material is there to treasure it or to appreciate it. I think that's a first step.
I do agree. And let me invite the new colleagues that reached us right now, as Stefano Aragona, that is a researcher about urban, how can I say? Urban. Stefano Aragona, that is a professor from not only our university, but the University of Reggio Calabria. Però mi devi dire di cosa.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the invitation. Congratulations for this very nice event. It's very interesting. Well, I'm civil engineer. I teach town planning in Reggio Calabria and also here in Roma, Valle Giulia. It's very interesting. It's many years that I involved with the issue of the ecological, what I say, ecological approach to territories and town. Before territory and then towns, because towns are in the territory. So.
And even objects.
Yeah, it's right. In Italy, we have a big problem all about what we have said today. In Italy, we consider territory, towns, first of all, as a private property and not as public common good. This is a big issue because, well, you know, anytime I see the foreign examples of beautiful things, I remain very impressive. Above all, because coming from the south of Italy, where it's very hard to face with these issues, can you imagine that the faculty, the student house of our faculty was designed very close a river, and it was never finished. But no, not because someone said no, you have not to finish, but because the society, the firm that have to build it, they had some finance problems, and this building is very close to the river. Legambiente, I don't know if you know Legambiente. Legambiente is the most important association about environmental issue. It's very ancient. They call this one as one of the eco-monster of Italy. There is a picture, well, it's my picture, my photo, in this dossier of Legambiente. Well, can you imagine that in these days they are trying, I won't say they because I don't know exactly now who is, they are trying to change the legal position of this structure to become as illegal, but it's very close to the river. So it's unbelievable. And in 1953, yeah, but in 1953, in Reggio Calabria, there was a big problem about rains and many people died. And same year, in the Netherlands, there was a overflooding, a huge overflooding. You know, what the people from the Netherlands, the first thing that they have started to build a museum about overflooding. Can you believe me if you say that many of colleagues of me in Reggio Calabria, they didn't know anything about the problem that was in Reggio Calabria in 1943. It's terrible. Well, another thing, well, I'm town planner. You know that town planning is that in Italy, politica comes from polis. Polis is the name of town in Greek. So when you face with town planning, you are faced with politic issues. Well, these days, yesterday, we vote in Italy. Can you think that two of the most cementificated regions of Italy are first Lombardia, second Veneto. The regions where the party that has won this election is in government since 10 or 20 years. They destroyed the paysage. They increase a lot the level risk, hydrological risk, because this cementification, well, you understand when I use the word cementification from, come? Yeah, concretization. Well, cementification is cement, concrete.
That's concrete.
Yeah, it's going concrete. The large use of yeah, and well, in town planning, you use now is very diffuse this word as you know, it's something like a gentrification. Gentrification, yeah, but gentry is coming from the word, gentry in an English word. This is cemetery, concretization, you know, is the destruction.
Yes, concrete means real and also concrete.
Yeah, and another thing, well, I am very positive. I'm very optimistic, but you know, well, there was a Marxian words where the optimism the optimism of willness and the pessimism of rationality. Il pessimismo della ragione e l'ottimismo della volontà in Italian.
Cita pure Gramsci.
Yeah, I quoted Gramsci. Well, I said a Marxist. I didn't want to say Gramscian. You know Gramsci, it's of course.
As we said, the politics must have a central role.
However, I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish. Don't you forget that Italy is has another big problem that starting from the Second World War, but also before, starting 30s, it was built with a two-engine, cars and houses, and that means streets. This is the big, the three big engines that allowed to develop the modern Italy. You know, you built everywhere houses. You need cars to arrive to the houses, and you need any kind of streets to arrive them. Okay. Thank you.
This is why this morning, I said that culture can be the only possibility to overcome the divisive trends of economy and politics, and this is stated in our constitution.
No, I agree.
Let me invite Professor Loredana Di Lucchio
Just a very thing.
to tell some words.
It's
about
our duty as a people that are working at university to say these things and to say that another world is possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Loredana, for coming.
Okay. Thank you to invite me to this final panelist. And thank you to all of you, because today was very interesting for me, and I think that there are two very interesting points that I learned by the students in particular. What I learned is that today the word waste is not anymore an important word, because waste, it could be material, and material is not a negative word. Waste is a negative word. When we talk about waste, we talk about something that is not be useful, is not part of us. We not have any emotion about waste.
But not here.
Not here. And today, I think that thanks to the rational proposal of the architectural students about how to organize the space where the waste is managed, especially in the urban area, but also about how the students from the Bauhaus Universität of Weimar, that they work in terms of feeling and meaning of waste. I think that for me the most important lessons is that, okay, from now to the next days and the next my work, I don't have to use anymore the word waste. And this is very important. I'm teach product design here in Sapienza. I'm the chair of the Master of Science in Product Design, which is in English, and we have a lot of students from all over in the world. And some of them, especially from the countries, the very east countries, India or China also, for them the question of waste is very, very important. For us it's a question just to manage, how we have to manage. For some of them it's a question of life. And therefore I have to say thank you about that. And I think that together with the university, the institution, and the young people, we can change a lot of these things. And thank you to Stefano, because he said that we have to match, for my personal points of view, the negative vision of rationality, which is very, very useful to have a critical point of view, but the positive approach of the proposal. And we are designer in terms that we are going to design something, and this is an approach, a positive approach. And to work, to design not with waste, but to design with the material. Not only the new material is what we can do very important. Therefore, thank you very much for that. Okay.
Do you want to say something for closing our session? Please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Indeed. I surely want to give a feedback, because I was really impressed of the workshop today. And I think this is the best way to deal with this topic. So we all know that it is not simple. In one of the speeches I heard it is a very complex topic. But okay, but we have to accept that it is complex. And it is an interdisciplinary problem, or maybe solution.
Sometimes complicated.
Yeah, but we have to accept and we have to deal with this. And I'm sure, so I'm working since 25 years on this topic of abolishing waste and wastewater. And in the beginning, people were laughing at it, say, crazy man. And yeah, okay, now I'm old enough that I can, it's not a problem if they say. So, and I know, because this is not easy, it is complicated and it's interdisciplinary, we exactly have to work in this way. Liz talked about perception, and I learned that this is the beginning. Perception, you have to see a problem. If you don't see it, you can't grab it, you can't deal with it. And so we need different point of views. So, and I'm very happy that today we had engineers, architects, artists in one room discussing about the same topic. And this is essential. And the second thing which is essential is that young people are dealing with this. So we saw excellent examples of your work in architecture, dealing with material, and we saw excellent work of engineers and artists, and we have to bring this together. This is really important. So we must go beyond the point we already saw today. And I think this is only possible if young people, good, well-educated people, work together. So Max Planck, I can quote it exactly, but he said that nothing will be changed by the people who already working in the old system. And he goes further. He says, those people have to die before something changed. And the next generation, they will solve the problem. And so we have environmental problems, we have infrastructure problems, and these are definitely problems of generations. And me as an old man now, I can't solve it, but I can teach and I can talk, and we all did. And I hope the young generation will take home a lot of these thoughts and think beyond the horizon. Yeah, thank you for this workshop.
Linda, would you like to add some words?
Okay.
I don't remember your name. Please. Florian? And I wish to invite my colleague Nicoletta to spend some conclusive words about her point of view of landscape architecture.
No. In French?
French,
No.
maybe in Italian. You can speak because
No,
I
okay,
can understand very well.
French or
our
Italian?
language.
What you prefer? In Italian? French? Italian.
Sì, parla.
Allora, semplicemente...
Could you understand if she speaks in Italian?
I try in English. Allora, you... Allora, I try to reply to her question. Proposal for the future. You told. I think that I teach in this university urban and architectural project, and I think from my position, but from our position, that it's really necessary, according to me, to implement, to include in our courses, in our formation, much more courses, much more disciplines to reflect about the new, come si dice, sfide, le nuove sfide,
Challenges.
the new challenges of che sono intorno a noi, no? Of our
Framework.
because I think it's in my department spesso
Very specialistic.
speak about didactic and project. How is the relationship? But we have, come si dice ancora, still a traditional vision of project, not sufficient enough open and enough interdisciplinary.
As Professor Langdon.
Ok, quindi
Today we have a lot of
quindi lo dico in italiano, credo che bisogna
knowledges.
credo che sia molto utile aumentare iniziative di questo genere, non solo come episodi, eventi speciali, ma io penso che all'interno dei nostri corsi di formazione sia assolutamente necessario aprire nuove, riformare un po' soprattutto alcuni corsi di progettazione. Ecco, questo è quello che io auspico per il futuro come docente di questa facoltà.
We have the need to open to interdisciplinary as you teach us since beginning of Bauhaus School, because we always need we always need to connect different point of view to have an open overview of the problem that are very crucial in the development of our society. And last, I want to invite Giovanni Petrucciani, engineer Giovanni Petrucciani, who was a pillar of the formation of the students in our laboratory, and maybe also the teacher that is the coordinator of everything, Roberto Panei, both together.
Always together.
Always, maybe. It's a hope. Vabbè, Roberto, poi se parli in italiano traduciamo.
Well, I'm not a teacher. I'm just an architect, and suddenly, in the middle of my life, maybe not right in the middle, just a bit later, Patrizia involved me in this adventure, just to try a collaboration between the azienda, the agency, the company AMA, where we work, me and Giovanni, and the collaboration with the University Faculty of Architecture. So we try to answer to this question, and I think I'm quite satisfied because you have seen the projects, the graduated thesis, and we are satisfied. But I would like to say another thing, that just one. We are all agree about these arguments, recycle, reuse, and so on. But it's not enough. We need something else. We need the politicians, because because in Rome, for example, someone asks to us, but why you realize ecological island? You have realized several ecological islands, but no one reuse center because of the laws, because the regulations are not exactly directed to find the way to build or realize something, because the people who govern the city I think is agree in words, but not with the facts. So this is the very difficult for us, because we are always all of us are agree to this question, but we need something else. That's it.
Thank you.
Giovanni,
I'd like to briefly close, only telling something that is apparently against the engineering approach, that is creativity. We found in this day, in this work, we found the power of creativity that is not only a beauty fact, but maybe the only way to overcome the great problem of linearity in industrial processes and in urban sites to be recovered. So now I'm gonna celebrate the creativity, and thank you.
Okay. I would like to really conclude by inviting at least one student from both university to say some words finally. One of the both groups. Marina? Irene? Ci siete? Sparite? Chi c'è? Claudia? Claudia? Sofia? Sophie?
I really thank you, all of you, for this opportunity, because during the study we didn't think that today we can have talk about this and have this occasion that is not only something to speak but something to do, and we have to think that we really can change the world with this collaboration with art, architecture, and this thinking about these topics that are at the basic of the society and the actuality. So thank you for this opportunity, and I hope that there are some other to improve and learn more and do other things about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity that we could show our artwork here. And I think it's a huge possibility, and we all have to work together on this issue. And it doesn't matter where we come from, and as I don't know, remember who said it, but it's our individual impact. So everyone has to do something, and it's really nice that also here in Rome this congress happened. And yeah, I hope we will manage this problem and this issue, and that we can stay here on this wonderful, beautiful earth for a long time.
So I think that with these enthusiastic notes, I can conclude the works of today and invite you, all of you, to go to the exposition at 6 p.m. tomorrow at Sala 1 in Piazza San Giovanni. Thank you again for coming, and hoping for a new cycle and a new life, a new society. Thanks to everybody.